a long time ago. Why are you just telling me now? Now the credibility is gone.
You let me fail for a whole month.
You let me fail. Yeah. Yes. So it has to be timely.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LeadHer Lounge. I'm Taylor Miller-Goulet.
And I'm Erica Rivera, and this is the space where modern leaders come for fresh and practical takes on leadership. Welcome!
All right, so today we are going to be talking a lot about feedback, and here at Monarch and at the LeadHer Lounge, we truly believe that feedback is a gift and should be given often, but it's not always a bad thing. Feedback can be very positive as well, not just constructive. So we're going to dive into when to give feedback, as well as a model that we use at Monarch Coaching on how to give feedback. So when should we be giving feedback? Effective feedback should really be given as soon as possible, right in the moment. As soon as you see a behavior that was either very positive that you really want to reinforce, or maybe a behavior that wasn't so great that you really want to correct. But you have to be very mindful of the space that you're in too. We don't want to be criticizing people in public in front of their peers. It can be a little bit awkward sometimes, and you can lose quite a bit of relationship capital that way. So we want to be very mindful, whether it's at their desk when no one else is around, you pick them up and say, hey, let's go for a walk. I just want to touch base with you real quick. Or if you've got like an office or maybe a quiet room that you could go into, just make sure that the space is appropriate for the feedback that you're giving. We also have a 4-part model.
Yes, so we use the RECC Model, and we're going to explain what they stand for. So the first one is recall. So recall the action or the behavior that team member did or say, or maybe didn't do.
Or didn't
right?
do. Did or didn't do, yeah.
Do, yes. So make sure, again, you have that private conversation and go over. You need to be very specific. So all the steps that we're going to mention, hopefully you kind of like rehearsal a little bit before going to that conversation. Just like to practice, whether it's in your mind or you wrote down. We're going to share with you a template and some questions in our LinkedIn, so you can actually follow those steps. But make sure that you know what are you coaching on or providing feedback on, making sure that they also are aware of that situation and they know what you're talking about. Don't assume that they know. If they did something, they probably thought that was fine and well done.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're actually being specific with those when you're recalling the action.
Yes, for sure. Yes. So then next, once you recall the action or the behavior, you want to really explain the why you're having to provide feedback. So what's the impact that behavior had, maybe on themselves, their professional growth, the team, whatever it is that it's affected. Because if you're just telling them, hey, you were late today, and not saying you were late today and then so-and-so had to pick up the rest of your, like the slack or whatever that was, providing the why just makes it sink in a little bit better and helps them realize, oh, if I do that, this happens, that there's consequences to their actions. And when we're going through this RECC model, we are talking, I think, a little bit more about the more constructive feedback as opposed to the positive feedback. So just making sure that why is there is super important. Yes. So that's the E.
Yes, and make sure that it's not about you. Like when you do things, that makes me look like with my leaders. It's not about you as a leader that you're providing feedback. It's for their all well-being and for the team success as well, or the team well-being. So it's not about you. Don't say this makes me feel this makes me look bad. It's not about you as a leader. It's about you as a lead, as the leader of the team, who are always looking out for everybody. The third one is C, which means confirm. So make sure that they understand what you're saying. Sometimes, again, we are utilizing words or saying things that we think that they're understanding the type of feedback we are providing, but make sure that they are like recalling what you are saying as well.
I think my famous line, and sometimes depending on the context, it might sound condescending, but it's really like, does that make sense? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Or do you understand the impact of what happened? And that kind of helps them think, in my eyes at least, when someone says that to me, I'm like, okay, yes, I do understand why I shouldn't be doing that, or why I should start doing that, whatever the case.
On that communication as well. It's like I'm being cleared on what I just want to make sure that like we are on the same page on this. You just want to make sure that that person is understanding so they don't do that in the future.
Yeah, and that also I think holds them accountable to being like, okay, yes, no, them saying I do understand what you're saying, and then if they keep continuing to do the thing that you just said, don't do that anymore, that also puts the onus on them of, hey, you already confirmed that you knew that this was a bad behavior to have, so why are we doing it again?
Yes.
But that leads into coaching, which we'll talk about again soon. Sure. But so just confirm understanding. Be very mindful of your tone, how you confirm understanding, because it can be a little condescending if you're like, do you get it?
Yes, be careful.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%. Be careful with like your words and also the tone in your body language. Make sure it comes across more as like you really want to make sure that the person knows that you saw what happened, you're recalling that action, but you want to make sure that doesn't happen again. You both are on the same page.
Yeah.
And the last one, after confirming that, is collaborating. So collaborate. It's not just about you setting a plan. Of course, in your mind, you might have something and solutions, but it has to come from them as well. They have to own what happened, and they have to own the plan, what is next, so that doesn't happen again. When they collaborate with you on that commitment or what is it gonna change, they're gonna take more ownership because it's coming from them. It's not coming from somebody else that is telling me what to do.
Yeah.
I'm collaborating. I think that works better for me if I do it at this time, or these type of projects work better for me, or I don't know, whatever it is. If they give you solutions or steps of how to improve, I think it's going to be better for both parties.
I think too, they probably wouldn't share anything that's outside of their capabilities. So when you do say, how would you like to move forward? What can we do to maybe stop this from happening, or whatever it looks like? And they say, oh, I can set my alarm 10 minutes earlier. Okay, cool. That's like an easy thing for you to do. And now they've made that decision. They've told you, they verbalized it. So if they're not really committing, then it's really, again, it's on them.
It's on them.
Yeah.
Yes. You're not telling them what to do.
Yes.
I think that's
exactly.
it. Yes.
But that's the RECC model. It's pretty simple.
I mean, it is simple. It is simple. Feedback is a gift. It's not always constructive feedback. You can use this to provide positive feedback. Hey, I saw what you did during this meeting. I can see how much effort you're putting on this project. I hope you know that. Let me know what can I do so you continue shining and continue doing this.
Yeah.
And that's the collaboration part. Like constructive feedback, yes, it's important, but the positive one is as important as the constructive feedback, because if you're approaching someone always telling them they're doing things wrong, they're going to stop listening to you. They're going to stop listening, and they're going to be afraid to have those one-on-one conversations, because they're going to think, have a one-on-one conversation on my calendar, something.
It's going to be bad.
Yes, it's going to be bad. And you don't want to create that, like kind of like a stress. Their cortisol is going to be high all the time, every time they have an interaction with you. So make sure that those interactions are also positive, right? So they don't know how to
increase their dopamine,
yes,
their serotonin, all of the happy brain.
And that can be in public. If they like to be recognized in public, we talk about the languages of appreciation and how we all are different. I believe it's episode 7, and yes, and just like make sure that you're providing positive feedback. Yeah. That's like my big thing right now. Yes, constructive feedback on time, effective, planned, organized is important, but in positive feedback as well. Like you need to reinforce positive behaviors so they know that they're doing good things. They can do it even more because they know they're going to be appreciated for it.
100%. And make sure it's timely.
Yes.
Always do it in the moment, because if you wait too long, you're either going to lose your credibility or they're going to forget what they even did, and that behavior is not going to be either reinforced.
Yeah, it's also like a month ago you were
did
late
this,
with this project. Like, what? A month ago? Like, that happened a long time ago. Why are you just telling me now? Now the credibility is gone.
Mm-hmm. You let me fail for a whole month.
You let me fail. Yes. So it has to be timely.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you couldn't the same day, but try not to wait as much.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I think that's good.
Those are our tips on feedback. If you've got anything that works well for you for providing feedback, please let us know in the comments below. Of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with anyone you think could benefit from it.
See you next week, leaders.
Bye.